Hi, my name is Lindsay. I'm from New York and I study at SUNY New Paltz. This past semester, I studied abroad through IPSL in Segovia, Spain, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about my experience and to share some advice with prospective students. So, in addition to the 5 required classes in the program, I also had 3 separate community service placements in Segovia. The first one was in an organization called Cruz Blanca, in English that's White Cross, and it was a residential home for senior citizens with mental disabilities. In this placement, I helped out the nurse aides, but mostly just did recreational activities, talked to the residents, made them feel special. My second community service placement was in a neighboring village called Basardia, and in Basardia, I assisted with an after-school program, and I helped the kids learn English. I also participated in a language exchange with students around my age, as well as helped some adults with their English. And my third community service placement was through an organization called Caritas, and I taught a beginner English class to adults. Okay, so my first piece of advice is going to sound very cliche, I've heard it a million times, but it definitely is something useful to keep in mind. Just to have a positive attitude, have an open mind, and I think this piece of advice, as well as all the other ones I'm going to share with you, really comes down to perspective. All in all, my time in Spain was an amazing experience, but it was not just 4 months of amazing days every single day. So a lot of times I had to really just consciously tell myself, Lindsay, you're in Spain, you have this opportunity, things aren't so bad, and kind of just move forward. Just give yourself a pep talk. My second piece of advice is to really try to get rid of guilt. The program, it's very, very rewarding, but it's very, very rigorous. It's 18 credits and 120 hours of community service, which keeps you very, very busy. You're in a foreign country, there's so many beautiful things everywhere, there's so many things to do, so many things to see, you just want to grab every opportunity, and sometimes it's just not possible, and you kind of have to accept that and get rid of, why am I not doing this? Why am I not doing that? Why am I not here? Why am I not there? Because really, that sometimes cheapens what you're currently working on. So if you're volunteering, fully be there volunteering. If you're in class, fully be there in class, fully be present in whatever you're doing. And if you're traveling, fully be in that moment and not thinking, what other city should I go to? What else should I do? On that topic, if you are fortunate enough to have the time and the money to do a little bit of side traveling, I would definitely recommend that you try to see as much of Spain as you can. Spain is a incredibly diverse country geographically. The people, the customs in all different regions are totally different linguistically too. There's tons that you can learn from Spain. So while it is awesome, totally travel Europe if you can, but I think get to know the country that you're in. Another thing I really want to emphasize is the importance of asking questions in class and being very involved in the classroom setting, because it's definitely a very unique opportunity. IPSL programs are very small, and even back at my home university, my classes for college classes are relatively small, 30 people or so, but even still, I will leave class some days thinking, oh, I wonder what the professor meant by that, or I just want to follow up on something he said, or I had a question about that, and sometimes those just never get addressed, or I'm asking a friend who doesn't really know. So I think it's really important to take advantage of the very small class size in IPSL programs. Just ask away. My program is actually just myself and another girl, so this is kind of like a situation I'll never be in again, a class of 2 people. All our classes were just like a conversation. I don't think I've ever learned more in a semester than I learned in Spain because of the small class size and my ability to really engage. Life still happens, even though you're abroad, things still go wrong. I think it is important to know that you can reach out. IPSL does always ask for feedback if you need anything, and I think it's really important to also use your host family as a resource because they're the ones you're living with and they can probably help you the most in the situation. But try to ask for what you need because people will be receptive to it. Things don't always go as planned, so I would say if you're having a moment that is really important to you, sometimes you will have to sacrifice other things. For example, I was very close with my host family. I would have work to do, but we get into like a really great conversation and I was learning a lot about Spain, or I was just learning a lot personally, and we just keep talking and talking for 3 hours. Maybe I had other things I had to be doing, but I was learning a lot from it and I was improving my Spanish. It's a very multifaceted program and it's hard to find a balance. But I think it's just important to really, again, keep things in perspective. And I guess just on a final note, I would say be proud of your accomplishments. When you've completed an IPSL program, you will have served in the community you're living in, you will have lived with the host family, you will have taken classes related to the area you're living in. You really have had a fully immersive experience. You have a lot to be proud of. So thank you so much for watching, and as it is dark now, buenas noches y buena suerte. Adios!